All right, y'all, it's James, Quantum Mechanic. Today I want to be talking about torque wrenches, specifically these Icon torque wrenches that I got here. Been using them for a few months now. They're pretty fantastic, actually. But I want to just talk about real quick my general philosophy on torque wrenches, and how I use them. So I do general automotive repair. I'm not an engine builder by any means. I'm not torquing down main cap bearings, or I really don't do head gaskets anymore or nothing like that. So most of what I use these torque wrenches for are going to be like oil pan gaskets, water pumps, some key suspension components and stuff like that. My thought process for torque is torque it down when it makes sense, right? I don't believe everything needs to be torqued down to specifications every single time you tighten it down. That you guys can argue with me in the comments if you want. But nobody has time for that. And once you do this for long enough, you pretty much know, you kind of do it till it feels right? And that's a real thing. You get a feel for it. I think torque wrenches are fantastic for the guys that are just starting out. You don't really know what torque to torque things down to. You don't know what it feels like. You know what I mean? I know if I'm worried about it, I can put 2 fingers on the end of it, or 1 finger, or a pinky, or whatever, if I'm trying to torque down like a drain pan or a drain bolt or something like that. So I don't over torque it myself. That's an old school trick you can use. The calibrated arm method is a real life method that you really can use, and you can feel when you're tightening something down, when it's gotten in the right, when it's tight enough, so to speak. But some things you just want to make sure are torqued down properly. And if you're one of the guys that torques everything down, be my guest. But sometimes you just want to make sure things are torqued down properly. And specifically, like I said, oil pan gaskets, valve covers, transmission pan gaskets. Even I do differential covers. I'll torque those down. Spark plugs to an extent. And water pumps are for sure. Thermostat housings and stuff like that, right? It really all depends. But for key components, we'll torque it down, right? So that's enough of that. Now, I've always wanted a nice, good Snap-on torque wrench. My Snap-on dealer was throwing a deal out for a pink one that I really wanted, but I just can't justify it. I always ask myself, how much do I have to work to make this tool pay itself off? You know what I mean? If I'm spending $700 on a torque wrench, how much stuff do I have to torque down in order for that torque wrench to start making me money? When all of these, honestly, they kind of do, they do well enough. So anyway, let's talk about what I use each one for. So this is a 1/2-inch torque wrench. I pretty much only exclusively use this one for torquing down lug nuts. I'll show you guys a video of that. All right, so we got the Icon torque wrench, 1/2-inch split beam. We're just gonna torque these down to 90 foot-pound. Not a bad little torque wrench. It's pretty much just for torquing down lug nuts. Yes, I do torque down lug nuts. I think it's very important. You wanna make sure that when the customer drives off, that the wheel's not gonna take a different turn. When they turn left, you don't want the wheels going right. You know what I mean? So I do torque down. I use my impact to put it down on level 1, just to get it nice and snug. It makes things a little bit more efficient for me. And then I come back around with this specific torque wrench and I torque them down to specification. I like this split beam because it's really easy and quick to change the value of the torque you're applying. So it's really quick, really fast, really easy. And to be honest, it's probably not the most precise thing in the world, but even lug nuts have a plus or minus range on how tight you can tighten them. And then even though this has an accuracy of plus or minus 4%, I'm very comfortable that using something like this will torque down lug nuts more than enough. And like I showed you guys in the video, I got a Snap-on socket here on the end of this Icon torque wrench, right? I like this one, even though it's single direction only. It is not calibrated for bidirectional use. It can't even go in the counterclockwise direction. I don't care because, like I said, I don't do a lot of counterclockwise stuff, okay? The next split beam I have, this is another one. This is 3/8. Look at that, another Snap-on, an old one right there. This one's great too. Once again, I still use this for valve covers, and I'll still use this for drain pans, even though it's not the most precise thing in the world. It still works well enough. I like, these flex heads are really nice. The 90 tooth is really good. Once again, one direction only. But this works really well. It's very clicky. It's very, it's got a nice good feel to it. It's got a good length to it. I really like these split beam torque wrenches. Now, my bread and butter, the torque wrenches I love the most are these micrometer type torque wrenches, okay, these manual. I'm not a huge fan of the electric torque wrenches. I don't know why. I just don't like them. I don't like that you have to kind of look at them, or you have to be in earshot of them. I don't know. I know they're useful and I've used them in the past, but I just like these better. The old school ones that I really like are the dial type torque wrenches where you literally have to watch the dial as you go through, and then some of them have a light on it, old school like incandescent light bulb, and the light will turn on when you hit the right setting. Anyway, those are the ones I use in the Navy, so I like those a lot. But anyway, these click type micrometer type torque wrenches, these are my absolute favorite. This is one from Icon as well, as you can see. This one's really, really nice. I absolutely love this thing. This one's chambered in 3/8, but it's on a 1/4 inch body, and this one's actually smaller than my old school 1/4 inch torque wrench there. So I kind of like that. It has a nice good form factor. It's about the same length as a standard ratchet wrench, and this is up to 200 inch-pounds, right? So not too much, but that's pretty much what I need. I need something really, really low, or I need something right here, which is about 20 to this is 20 to 100 foot-pounds. Okay. So anyway, something like that. Those two torque wrenches cover pretty much everything I need it to do. I do have this cheap, really cheap 1/4 inch torque wrench I got from Harbor Freight. I know that there's some YouTube channels out there that have tested these out, and they do perform pretty well for how cheap they are. My problem is look how, like, let me pull out my little pocket screwdriver. Look how big that gap is between the micrometer adjustments and then the reading. So the problem with this is that, I mean, yes, if you know what you're doing, you can like kind of sit here and count, but they just don't line up perfectly with the numbers, right? So even though you hit 0, you're not quite at the 0, if that makes any sense. This Icon one is really nice. It locks as soon as you let go of this collet, it springs up and locks in place. You don't have to worry about it. This one was constantly coming loose, so I always was tightening this down. It was a huge pain in the ass. This is nice because it automatically locks in place. So I like that feature. And look at the spacing here. The spacing is really nice. It's right up on it. It's really, really, really close to what you're looking at. It snaps right into place. It's exactly on. It snaps onto each numerical value. So that's really nice. I mean, just look at that. Just knocks right into place. Yes, if you wanted to go half right, you couldn't. But like I said, for what I do and the accuracy in what I do, I don't really need to go anything more precise than a half. Even if it says 18 inch-pounds, I'll go to 20, right? Just because why not, right? Anyway, so yeah, that's my take on torque wrenches. Do you need them? Yeah, I think you need a torque wrench. Is it absolutely necessary for the DIYer? No. If you're a professional mechanic, yes. Do you need it for everything? I don't think so. I think that a cheap set I think I paid, like, these are probably $100 a piece, right? Roughly, especially if you get them on a good sale. So $300 in torque wrenches right here, roughly, give or take some money. And yeah, I think these sockets cost more than these torque wrenches do. There's another Snap-on there for you. Look at that. I've recently warrantied that out. Anyway, yeah, these are really great torque wrenches. I highly, highly, highly recommend the Icon lineup. I can't talk to digital torque wrenches. If I ever need a digital torque wrench, so to speak, I have one of these. This is from Pittsburgh. I know Icon or Quinn makes them, but I have one of these digital torque adapters. These are really, really accurate as well. I've seen a lot of YouTubers review these as well, and these always do fantastic. So if I'm ever concerned or worried about it, I can always use this to kind of calibrate, so to speak, one of my other torque wrenches. But I just don't break this out too often. If you're a do-it-yourselfer, I would recommend something like this because it's cheap. You can put it on any end of any wrench. It's a little bit bulky, but once you put an extension on it, because extensions do not affect the final torque value, as long as you're not putting a swivel on it. Something like this would be really well for a do-it-yourselfer. Yes, it's not the most efficient tool to use, right? Which is why I like click-type torque wrenches. Sorry, going on a tangent here. Comparing a click-type torque wrench to a digital torque wrench. The digital torque wrench, you're kind of like going, and yes, you have the noises, but you have to stop it when you get to the right torque. Okay, so you're going, beep 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 beep, right, and then you stop. So you have to do that for each thing that you're torquing down, and it can be a pain in the ass, and it can take a little bit more time. Whereas with a click-type torque wrench, you set it to the right setting. I usually test it on a spare bolt somewhere or on a vise or whatever, just to make sure it's going to click. Yes, I know it's clicked. I'm not warming it up. I'm just making sure that the torque wrench is functioning properly. I do that just about every single time. And then I'll go on to it, and then it's boom, 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 boom. So it's click, 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 click. It's a lot more efficient of a process when you're doing your final torque. So that's that, and that's why I like that a lot. Same thing with lug nuts, right? You get on there, you go boom, 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 boom. It's so much faster to use something with a click that you can just feel the brake and stop, feel the brake and stop, feel the brake and stop, rather than listening and hearing and looking for a light and then stopping, right? It's just minor things. So let me know in the comments and down below what you guys think of these torque wrenches. It doesn't have to be Icon. I know there's a ton of brands out there. And the lifetime warranty on this is fantastic. You know, that's another thing that this has over the tool trucks is I break this, I take it to Harbor Freight and get a brand new one. If this goes out of calibration, take it to Harbor Freight, get a brand new one. With the Snap-on torque wrenches, after the 1 year, 3 year warranty or whatever, you got to pay $150 or $100 or whatever it is to get it fixed or calibrated or anything that it needs. So yeah, not my favorite thing, although they really do make the best torque wrenches in the world. So anyway, let me know in the comments below what torque wrenches do you guys, what torque wrench brand do you guys use? What kind of torque wrenches do you like to use? When do you use them? Do you guys agree with me on how I use mine or not? Or is there something else? Am I grossly wrong about something? Let me know in the comments below. And thanks again for watching, guys. I super appreciate the support.